You don't need to be great to start, but you need to start to be great. Man, such simple words, but extremely powerful. Now, that's a quote that I believe has been attributed to Zig Ziglar, and it is one of my favorite quotes, and it is one of the driving forces behind a lot of things that I have decided to start doing in life. And it was it was the quote that I thought about that really pushed me to get going with starting to create content online. Okay, and I'm sure there are a lot of people, and possibly even you watching right now, that can relate to that, right? There's and it doesn't have to be for just content, just a bunch of different things, right? There might be a ton of different things that you've wanted to do, and you always find a reason, you always find an excuse to not do it, right? Because you think you're not ready, or you're just not good enough. At least these are all the different things that we typically tell ourselves, right? I know that's what I did for sure, right? When I started, especially when I started this particular YouTube channel, and or before I started this YouTube channel, and that goes with many other things, right? It's not just YouTube, all the different basically social media in general, right? Content creation in general. And for the longest time, I sat and you look at all these other people, right? Because our biggest problem, this I can speak for myself, but I'm pretty sure that you can relate to this too, and many others, right? When it comes to wanting to get going with anything, right? Especially when it's something that has a component or an element of competition, right? We're not necessarily in competition with each other when, I mean, to a certain extent, it feels like we are, right? Because every time we create content, whatever it is that we're doing, we have all of these vanity metrics that we look at, and we use them to compare ourselves to each other, right? And it's easy to fall into that trap. At least I did. I know I did, right? Which is why it took me so long to go ahead and start creating content, right? To fall in that trap of thinking you're not good enough. When you look at everybody else's content and you see like how people are doing some really fancy stuff, people are really skilled with their editing or even with their delivery and their speech, right? And you look at it, it's like wow, and you just feel like you just can't compare, right? Like, and not only that, with the breadth of knowledge that people have, right? And or you look at certain topics that are being covered, topics that you might want to cover yourself, but then you see that they're being covered by so many different people doing it so well, and you think to yourself like, well, who's gonna want to listen to little old me, right? Who's gonna want to listen to me? But you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. There's, you know, there are people there are people that find you a lot more interesting, a lot more likable, a lot more possibly even entertaining than you probably feel about yourself, right? Because generally speaking, when it comes to all these type things, we tend to be our own biggest critics, right? You see it even with like the big stars, movie actors that we put on pedestals, right? And we look at it, but if you hear some of them in interviews, a lot of times you'll hear they don't like watching their own work. They don't like looking at themselves. They feel uncomfortable watching their own movies, or because they don't like the way they sound, maybe, or they just feel like they're in that. It's something we all face, or at least most of us face on varying levels. So I say all this to say, whatever aspirations, whatever dreams, or whatever goals that you have that you want to accomplish that involve getting started with something, go ahead and just get started. Okay? Just go ahead and get started. You don't have to be perfect, right? You don't have to be perfect to get going. You don't have to be, you don't have to be stellar in essence, right? Like, Just start with whatever you've got, right? Start with whatever you've got and then work your way up from there, right? I've been doing, like till now, till today, right? Although like I still look at my YouTube videos, and sometimes I don't no, not cringe. Like I'll be exaggerating if I said that. I don't cringe, but it's just I look at it, and I look at my videos sometimes and I'm like, man, it's just I'm not happy with like my delivery, or how much I with all my ums and ahs, and like those are all things. These are little things that I'm looking at that I know I can improve over time. But guess what, right? I would have had zero chance of improving those things if I didn't start. And that's going to be the same for you. Like whatever it is that you're thinking, or whatever it is that you don't have, right? That you think you don't have, it's going to remain that way. It's going to stay that way. It's not going to get any better unless you start, okay? Unless you start. And if you want to get great, all right, the only way to get great, or get good, or get better is with the reps, okay? It's just starting, and you just keep putting in the reps, keep putting in the reps, keep putting in the reps, and you become, the more reps you put in, right, the more hours you spend, the better you're going to become, right? What is that? Like it's to improve 1% every single time, right? If you just improve by small little increments, okay? I'm looking at my videos now, and I mean, not that there's anything spectacular about them, but at least I can, in my own little way, right? I can see little improvements, or little things that I've become better at over time, right? Like I feel a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera now, or I should actually, I should say a lot more comfortable, even though it might not seem like it. Like a lot of things, right? A lot of things they're only gonna get better over time, right? I'll go back and I'll see them, and I'll obviously we are our own biggest critics, right? So I'll nitpick at all these different little things, but at least it's one thing to nitpick at all those things, but if you don't actively try to fix them and make them better as you move forward, then there's no point in doing all of that. So uh it's time, right? All this stuff is going to come with time. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever it is that you've wanted to, if you're waiting for the perfect moment, like you think you're the perfect moment that you think you're going to be ready, that perfect moment is just never going to come, okay? So whatever it is you've been dreaming about, whatever it is that you've been wanting to do, like for as an example, like this is something else. Like one of the things that it's not exactly entirely related, but let's just say there's that dream move that you've been wanting to make, right? That dream move to some place, right? I have mine, and I'll reveal it at some point in the future, I guess, or sometime in a nearby video, in early 2025 or so. But it's lofty goals, right? The lofty goals. But if I'm waiting to be ready to actually make that move, I might end up never making it. So I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna go, and struggle if I have to, but figure it out as I'm there, right? Figure it out, right? So, and that goes with everything, right? That goes with everything, right? If like whoever you like, just start pursuing that woman, start pursuing that man that you've been dreaming about, right? Whatever it is, and start that business you've wanted to start, right? Whatever it is, right? Start, okay? Zig Ziglar said it best, and it's such a powerful quote, and I just wanted to share it. I'm sure you've probably heard it before, but if you haven't, hopefully it blew your mind like it blew mine. Let's just put it that way, okay? So you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start in order to be great. I'll leave you with that. Have a good night. If you're interested in getting started with an online business, which is what I'm doing right now on my journey to financial independence, check out the links I have in the description below this video, and I will catch you in my next one. Ciao.